a long ways.
There's any seniors out there that want a little exercise bending down and picking these things up? Agnes, what number should they?
The Twins Community Fund. The doors will open at the Dome at 10 a.m. The program is supposed to start at 2 p.m. The program will run about 45 minutes, possibly 1 hour long. Tonight, police are marking out the parade routes in the Twin Cities. First, near the Dome on 4th Street in Minneapolis, police have moved in wooden barricades to designate the route after rush hour tomorrow morning. In St. Paul, barricades also stand at the ready near the Capitol, and police have also hooded the parking meters on Wabasha to make sure the route is wide enough for the parade vehicles to get by. St. Paul says it will have police squads lining parts of the parade route to keep people from running into the streets and mobbing the parade vehicles. Minneapolis says it will have twice as many police officers assigned to the parade tomorrow, twice as many as it had in '87. Don?
Mike Walsher along with Pat Kessler and Bill Hudson on parade preparations for tomorrow. Now, if you want to avoid the crowds, we'll provide live coverage of the parade and Dome Rally here on Channel 4 tomorrow from approximately 10:30 in the morning to whenever the thing gets done. And we'll also have a special tomorrow night at 7 with the highlights you may have missed if you couldn't watch the parade live. Matt Balo will be along with a parade weather forecast in just a few minutes.
About this time last night, people were still watching the game, and when it was over, the celebrating fans filled the streets of downtown Minneapolis. Despite what may look like rough treatment of some vehicles, police made no arrests. They just tried to make sure no one got hurt in all this celebrating. But some pickpockets were at work, according to police, and they recommend you leave billfolds and purses at home if you plan on joining the parade crowds tomorrow.
Good advice. Twins fans got a chance to see some of their heroes in a more comfortable setting a little earlier this evening. The Twins victory party at the Ridgedale Shopping Center in Minnetonka was the locale. Some of the stars of this year's World Series came out with their families to answer fans' questions and accept the fans' accolades. People loved Knobloch, Gagne, and Pagliarulo, but the big cheer of the night went up for Kirby Puckett, who said being part of 2 World Championships teams is a dream come true.
I was as high as I could go as an athlete. And, you know, just making it to the World Series in '87 and then in '91, not only just making it, but winning it, I can't even really describe the feeling. It's an awesome feeling.
And most of the players said much of the same thing. Jarvis Brown, Greg Gagne admitted his boyhood dream was not to play in the World Series. You know what he said he wanted to be? He said he wanted to be a rock star.
A rock star? Well, he's got the crowds there anyway.
Sure does.
When the Twins won last night, it was also a victory for the MTC. The Twin Cities bus system won a bet with Atlanta's mass transit agency over who would sign, or post rather, 100 bus signs bragging on the winning team. Today, the MTC was crowing.
Signs say, as you can see, 2 great cities, 1 great team, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and the 1991 World Champion Twins. That'll be on Atlanta buses in the next 2 days.
Georgia will also pay off a bet between governors, sending us pecans or apples, and Atlanta will send St. Paul peaches. St. Paul is still sending Atlanta some St. Paul-made products like Stroh's beer and Pearson's nut goodies as a consolation.
CCO AM is sending down some lutefisk. Twins got some national exposure from the game last night. An estimated 83 million people watched the game nationwide, including a couple million Minnesotans. At 10 o'clock last night, 70% of all of the households with television sets in our viewing area had that game on. And the commemorative cereal boxes were rolling off the line at the Minnesota-based General Mills plant. Kirby Puckett and Kent Herbeck on the front of the Wheaties box, but I want to show you something about that. Competitor Kellogg's had the Tony the Tiger with the Twins uniform on. The odd thing to note on the Wheaties box, though, is that you will not find anywhere on the Wheaties box the word Twins. You will not find the word World Series, and you will find on the back, Puckett and Herbeck are wearing just, you see, plain blue shirts with no team logo on their name. You may wonder, why is that? Well, they said here that they did not want to use any of the logos, the Twins logos, the Major League World Series logos, because they would have to pay for those baseball trademarks. But
so instead,
that's right. But Kellogg's did have to pay for its use, and in fact, has the Major League symbol right on the back to say that it has paid the proper price for that. Right there is that Major League
Let's get a close-up too.
Okay, yeah, now here it is. That's Twins, Tony the Tiger, because they are what?
The official sponsor.
No, they are what? Tony says they are.
Great.
Grrr, okay.
You say it that way.
All right, fine. And then this is the one from, of course, General Mills, and didn't have to pay for anything.
You did that very
Except
well.
for printing. Thank you very much. I'm going to take those home.
Yeah, I bet you are. Well, up next, the developments in the Northwest Airlines story. Northwest has agreed to some...
Satisfied Vision World customers tell the real story on optical quality, price, and service.
The individual attention that I got at Vision World, plus the quality, made me a satisfied customer.
I went to Vision World originally for the price, and I really stayed because of the service.
The one thing that impressed me the most about Vision World was the price. I saved $60 by getting my glasses at Vision World.
Vision World, now in Brookdale and Southdale.
Congratulations to you, Bill, and the LDB team on your 10th anniversary.
Thank you, Corbin.
Now, I am a member of the LDB Technologies Group, and I assure you we are serious about full service and saving you money. We provide international, national, 1-800 and away from office travelers long distance, and worldwide conference calling. LDB provides lower business rates and generous volume discounts. Hey, I like LDB. LDB is the best. Let Bill here and his team prove it.
Next time on Cheers.
Will you marry me tomorrow and make me the happiest man in the world?
Well, of course my...
A moment of truth for Frazier and Diane and Sammy.
Diane is going to marry Frazier tomorrow afternoon in Florence.
Oh, Sam, free at last.
Will Sam be thrown out of the ring?
I'm going.
That's what I do.
See if Sam knocks Frazier out of the picture in round 2 of Sam versus Diane on Cheers. Monday at 10:35 on KARE 11.
Tonight in the Extra, look at the financial benefits the World Series brought to the Twin Cities.
With the series in Minneapolis, city officials say millions of dollars were pumped into the city's economy. The city of St. Paul also reaped some benefits from the event, but not nearly the same.
Although it's smaller than its sister city, St. Paul officials say it's still very much a vital force competing for tourism dollars and attention. KARE 11's Asha Blake reports.
And welcome to the Metrodome.
Across the country, baseball fans heard some more about Minneapolis during the World Series. And despite the fact that we are the Twin Cities, it's often been said that St. Paul ends up living in the shadow of its bigger sister, Minneapolis. Minneapolis convention officials predict that the city will have pocketed around 18 million indirect sales thanks to the World Series. In St. Paul, they didn't try for any figures yet. But St. Paul city officials say that the cities can't be measured in dollars.
Twins aren't always identical, and we're not. Minneapolis and St. Paul aren't the same kinds of communities.
While Minneapolis may have its sports events this year, Hadley says St. Paul has cultural activities all year round, and a new history center and much more that people don't know.
People don't often recognize that we have 17 post-secondary institutions in St. Paul. We're second only to Boston. I think that St. Paul has been unfairly depicted upon occasion as being a community that is losing ground, and it's absolutely false.
Now, St. Paul didn't totally lose out on World Series dollars. Hotel rooms were almost booked solid before the series started. To one downtown council member, if there's any problem in St. Paul, it's one of perception.
It's frustrating if the facts aren't there. You know, if we haven't done a good job in laying the groundwork so that the national media and international media that comes to town is perhaps geographically unaware of where things are located.
Last year's Super Bowl in Tampa was enough to convince St. Paul planners to huddle together and start brainstorming for our Super Bowl. Another ice castle, as you've probably heard, is in the works.
St. Paul is coming together to make this the most